Inside the Drag Closet with Jade. Join Jade DeVere and her fabulous team of guests as they discuss all things drag, from wigs to makeup to performances and everything in between.
Join us at WLFEDB.com for upcoming shows and more.
Well, hello there, kids. Welcome to Inside the Drag Closet, the interactive vodcast where we talk about all things drag and some things that aren't. Who knows? We're really just here to have a good time. Tonight's going to be a fantastic show. We have the legendary Honey Davenport joining us this evening. I'm super excited to chat with her and pick her brain a bit. And we also have Sam, one of the Sams, from the Sam We Are podcast is joining us. Of course, I will be joined by my lovely co-host Scarlet Overkill this evening, but you need to learn a little bit more about me with a little who, what, where. Who am I? I am Jade DeVere. I am a drag queen. I've been performing for over 10 years now. It's actually closer to 20 if we count dinner theater. It's a very convoluted answer. What am I wearing? Well, I am wearing some fabulous hair done by Marcus Carr, based out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and somewhere in Georgia. I don't remember exactly where, but he does some amazing work. My jewelry is, of course, Rocks by Cox. I love this jewelry set. This dress I found, it keeps on flipping because I had to tie myself into it. Anyway, this is what happens when my assistant's not here. Beautiful, nice little vintage dress, makeup all done by me. You can tell, you know, the smoke and mirrors on my chest going on right now. I started using my new palette. I just got for Christmas the James Charles Morphe palette. I recommend this palette to everybody. It is so cute and so much fun. I am obsessed with this palette. And where can you find me? Well, you can find me every Wednesday night right here on Inside the Drag Closet at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WLFE-DB Radio. I am hoping to start performing live sometime soon. I do miss the stage a great deal. I'm hoping to get back to it sooner or later. Oh my gosh, we already have a ton of comments coming in. Wow, you kids don't waste time. Robin, Derek, Vicky, Teddy, Sam. Is this the other Sam? I'm so confused. Oh my gosh, so many people. Alicia is watching. Logan. Thank you, Logan. I am a woman. Thank you very much. In a less than perfect world. Loving the purple. I love purple too. Like, I don't love purple in my day-to-day life, but when I'm in drag, I just feel right wearing purple. I don't know where that came from. It looks like a nice bright palette. Oh my God. It is amazing. I can't even fully. It is the other Sam. Thank you, Sam. I'm so confused. The James Charles palette is so cute and so amazing. There's so many beautiful colors in it. They say he made that palette so that you'll never need another palette again. I'm going to need another one of these because I know I'm going to go through it. We have Aurora F. Sterling. Hey, girl, hey. She's going to be on the show next month. I believe February 10th? I think it's the 10th. I don't remember. I don't have my calendar in front of me. Oh, well. But yes, I'm super excited to chat with her. But speaking of Aurora, I should probably introduce her darling daughter. You know her and love her. She is one of my fabulous co-hosts. Put your hands together for Scarlet Overkill.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm good, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Give us a little who, what, where.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching another episode of Inside the Drag Closet. I am your favorite fashionably challenged hooker clown from Harrisburg, Miss Scarlet Overkill. What am I wearing? This fabulous sparkly dress from Fashion Nova. This hair that I got from Amazon. My makeup is a mix of NYX and Mayron and Jeffree Star Cosmetics. A little mix of everything. Where can you find me? Well, you can find me every Wednesday night right here on Inside the Drag Closet at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every Sunday on Across the Pond at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find me next Friday, January 15th, I'm back. We're back at Heat, me and Aida, for Fahrenheit Fridays. Yes, I'm taking back to the stage with my good sister. So come see us perform live. Oh my God.
That's going to be a cute show.
Yes, I'm excited to be back on stage. The last one we did was October, maybe?
It was a while.
Yeah, and then the November one, or maybe, I don't know. It was something like that, because we were going to do one in December, but it got canceled because we went back into lockdown. So.
It happens.
Yeah.
Girl, I did forget to mention something. I got so excited about making announcements and bringing you in. Did you know we have merch now?
We do?
We do. Yeah, you can get it right over at www.jadedevere.com/merch. You can get yourself a lovely hoodie or an Inside the Drag Closet t-shirt.
Yes.
I already know some of our guests actually got some hoodies this week.
Awesome.
Yep. Everything you get that has Inside the Drag Closet on it, it will go right back into the show so we can keep bringing you fantastic guests and more content.
Yes.
What's my hair doing? So speaking of content, we had a very odd week.
Yeah.
Want to talk about it a little bit?
Let's just address it, girl. We might as well.
Yeah. We're not on Roku. Yeah. It didn't happen. Our show last week was on Roku TV, on Cutting Edge TV, and then Cutting Edge TV disbanded. So we are no longer on TV. There it is.
Yeah.
That sucks. Life goes on.
Hopefully, one door closing means another one will open. Who knows?
Exactly. That's what I've kind of been trying to think. You know, opportunity is not a lengthy visitor. You know, we learned a lot. You know, you host a show as well, and across the pond, I loved your show this week.
Oh, thank you.
But we had to learn a lot of new skills. We've all kind of been doing some voice acting a bit. And, you know, this just, while the Cutting Edge TV did not pan out, it geared us for something even bigger and better.
Yes, girl.
Teddy says he's working on something for us. And I'm like, this is a fantastic comment from Alicia. I need to rob a bank to have some money to buy merch. LOL. I hear ya.
Same.
I have no idea what our prices are for anything. It's all run through a different company. So we do appreciate everybody who does buy things. Maybe we'll have a contest at some point. We'll give away an Inside the Drag Closet hoodie.
Ooh.
If you have any contest ideas, feel free to send them our way. Just go to InsideTheDragCloset@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
So, girl, let's talk about our woo girl.
Ooh, girl.
I want you to do the intro because you know her better than I do.
Oh, my God. So, first of all, I've known this fabulous and talented and beautiful creature for like ever. We went to high school together, and I graduated in like 1990. So it's been a lot of years. And oh, excuse me, I'm in 1890. So it's been a long time that we've known each other. And I mean, we haven't seen each other since high school, which is crazy. She moved to Philly. I'm still here in Harrisburg, and just our lives and our schedules. And now we're dealing with this crazy pandemic. So we just haven't seen each other. I did see her technically, I guess, if you want to say, like on her podcast I did. But other than that, like we haven't seen each other in that long. But it's been nice because even though past high school and everything going on, we still got to keep in touch and talk, and we still are connected. We text all the time, and she's just amazing. I can't wait for you all to meet her. You're all going to love her as much as I do. So let's welcome our woo girl for the week from Philadelphia, my good friend, Sam Dubb.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Y'all, blessed be the fruit.
Yes. So,
Are you guys
Sam,
gonna ask like who I'm wearing and stuff? Come on.
oh, I was just about to give us a little who, what, where.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Go for it. Tell us about yourself.
Oh my God. Okay. Who am I? I'm Sam Dubb. I have a really amazing podcast with my co-host, Sam Cap. So check us out at Sammy Our Podcast. I am wearing, well, let's take a better look here. I'm wearing this fabulous Britney Spears hoodie that I got from Britney Spears' website. Had to support her. She was losing her mind there for a little bit. She actually still is. Like, what is she doing? But you can find me online. My Instagram is private to keep out the whack jobs, but I will friend request you, promise, maybe. But you can request me at VeggieQueen16 on Instagram and also Twitter if you want to argue with me.
Yes.
I love that.
Same.
So, Sam, tell us a bit more about your podcast. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
So, our podcast, we have 5 main topics. They are, oh my God, I'm gonna fuck this up. I better not. They are veganism, cannabis, feminism, sexuality, and all things Philly related. So those are like our things when we don't have like a certain topic that we know we want to talk about. We'll gravitate towards those 5. But most of the time, depending on the guest is, their stories write themselves. So people always think that they're like not interesting. And I'm like, man, everyone has like a crazy story to tell. Everyone has like a good story. So depending on the person, you can really just kind of build your content on top of who that person is. Like Scarlett was so easy. I was like, we're gonna like talk for 2 hours.
Scarlett's been called easy before.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. Haven't we all though? Haven't the best people?
The best of us get called easy. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to be on sometime.
Oh my God, consider yourself invited.
Hey!
ASAP.
Oh, so much fun. We're getting a lot of fun comments. Hello, Sam, and welcome from Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Sam Cap says, yes, Sam.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, I like this one. Yes, love all of those topics from Whitney.
Thanks, girl.
Yes.
So are you a vegan as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I tried to be, I went the vegetarian route when I was younger and my body just could not handle it. So I'm like, I need to find a different way because especially with, quarantining right now and everything, my eating habits are garbage.
Aren't
Same.
Everyone's though?
Like
I mean,
I put on my dress tonight and I was like, ooh, I'm expecting twins.
Same girl.
aren't we all? We're all having twins, literally. We
Yeah.
all have like a food baby that's been growing since the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to get out of that. The vaccines are rolling out,
Yeah,
we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
kinda. Hopefully. I
Yeah.
still feel like it'll be like at least another year. And I know everyone hates when I say that, but I really do think it's going to be like at least another year until we're somewhat normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 6 months at the very least.
Minimal. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like I just went back to work this week. I haven't worked for the last couple weeks because entertainment venues were shut down. So I've been
Yeah.
at home, but I'm very happy to be back at work. I feel safe again, but
Yeah.
fingers are crossed.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like for y'all, like as performers, like when everything does open back up and y'all are performing like more regularly, I feel like people are going to be so like just pumped about it and like gracious and like not as, taking everything for granted. Y'all are going to get like amazing tips. You're going to get like all this money. It's gonna be great.
I hope so.
I'm ready for money.
I know so.
Well, shall we dive in and introduce our special guest for the evening?
Oh, we should.
I am so excited. I have been a fan of hers. Like I was gushing a little bit before the show started because she was the first Rue girl that followed me on Instagram. And I was blown away by this. And Scarlett had the same reaction. And We're super excited to have her here this evening. Everyone, I hope you love her as much as we already do. Put your hands together for Honey Davenport!
Hey! How's it going, y'all? How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you just fine. Honey, why don't you give us a little bit of a who, what, where about you?
Oh, well, I'll first start off by talking about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this hoodie that was part of my Halloween costume when I dressed like RuPaul did on the season 12 finale. And because because I'm in my 30s, I'm also wearing Andrew Christian's Rapid Eye Detox and Andrew Christian's Liquify to keep the skin looking moist and polished. And that's all of the products that I have on right now. However, I'm Honey Davenport. I'm a recording artist and a drag queen. I was on RuPaul's Drag Race. But the best thing that the thing that I always tell people when they want to get to know me is get to know my music. And that you can find streaming everywhere from iTunes and Spotify and wherever you listen to music, my music is there. And alongside with that music, I have some amazing content that goes along with it. And you can find that all on my YouTube page at Honey Davenport Official.
Amazing. So everybody go out, make sure you are following Honey Davenport. Now, I always like to, especially when we have a woo girl on the show, Sam, go ahead and direct this at Honey, but what is one thing you have always wanted to ask a drag queen?
So, what I really want to know is, do you have anything that you do special when you have to tuck? Like, I want to know how it works. Like, what is the process? Like, what goes down? Because I've seen some girls, and some of them are just amazing at padding and tucking, but like, where does it go?
I'll take this one. I have no problem taking this one. Believe it or not, it is easier to hide a bigger one than a smaller one. I know. It's like the opposite of sex. You can easily hide a smaller dick inside of you, but not a big one. The thing that really plays a factor in it is how big your balls are, because your balls go up inside of your body. Now, I'm really fortunate. I always say that my body was like made for drag because I've got like all dick and no balls, like tiny little balls. And so what I do is I just grab those two little things, I just squeeze them up inside of me, and then I pull everything else back. And then they actually made these amazing underwear that have recently been announced. I don't know if you girls wear them, but they're called Tuck It Ups. This is the most amazing thing that I've ever had. From the first time I wore them, I was like, what the fuck? It's like cushy on your, like, on that area. Like, it holds everything back, but it's not at all like, because tucking really feels like pulling a finger. Like, that's what it's like. This doesn't hurt. It's just like, dude, why are you pulling my finger? But these underwear like hold everything back and in place. Y'all are gagging. You've never tried Tuck It Ups, Jade?
No.
I literally I just Googled it and I am blown away.
Find some right now.
They are revolutionary. I'm so pampered by them because I've been doing drag for almost 14 years now. And when I first started doing drag, I used to make a gaff out of denim and old tights so that the part you could see matched my skin, and like I would hold it all back with that. And that was low key a little painful because it's like denim holding back your junk. But these are phenomenal. In fact, the only time that my tuck ever bothers me is when I've forgotten to do the laundry and I've run out of Tuck It Ups.
A friend of mine, I'm not going to say her name, she used to use regular underwear that she duct taped the front of so that they were like, there was no give to the front of them. I was like, ooh, no, thank you.
Ouch.
I just use 4 pairs of tights and my body is like, oh, it's this again? Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Like the mush technique. A lot of people don't do like a full tuck. They just like kind of smush it in there. And I I definitely have to hide all of this, but
I think like I know like Jade and I can probably both agree on this. Like we can do the mush mush technique because like we don't really wear a lot of like scandalous outfits. Like no one wants to see a clown in a two-piece. Like nobody wants to see that.
I do.
Now that you put the thought in my head.
right? Can you just? I just saw it in my head like Bianca Del Rio modeling for Playboy. Could you
Oh my
imagine?
God. With like just like two-piece and a ruff and a clown hat.
Yeah.
Right, and just all the eyelashes. She's like, I forgot my clothes, but not my lashes.
Yes.
That's amazing. So we did get one question that was emailed into us this week from Emma Pyle, and this one is for Honey. Hello, Honey.
Okay.
Love you so much. I was wondering just how crazy it is being on Drag Race. Does the amount of work and the girls get to you after a certain amount of time? Thanks.
Does it get to you? It is. You know, they often call it the Olympics of drag. The Olympics have like rules that don't change, and really like glamorous, comfortable hotels and suites and parties you go to. This is not that. It is it's by far the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. It's drag on crack. It's like just but the good thing about it is that anybody who's dealt with that experience can more aptly deal with the experience that comes afterwards, where the whole world is kind of demanding that you continually do drag on crack. Like this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. And it's a lot. So yeah, there is nothing unreal about how little time they give us to do those challenges. It's typically about like 3 hours to do your face, make a costume, prepare your scene, learn the choreography, eat your lunch, be on the main stage. Like 3 hours.
Ugh.
So it's ridiculous. It's actually the fact that these artists create such beauty in that time constraint is it's insane. It's insane.
Well, and it's, there's that double standard that girls that have been on the show, people are just like, oh, they're just drag queens. But at the same time, if you watch what's going on the show, like there is so much that goes into it. Like this is such an amazing art form that people take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where my mind was going with that. I completely forgot where my train of thought was going.
It's all good.
I'm getting old.
Did you have one of the edibles that I had?
Is that what that was? This, for those of you at home, this is what we were all like before the show started, just hanging out and having a good time.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in a world with as many things going on as we have right now, I think that everybody out there needs something to tune into as opposed to the foolishness. So if y'all came here to hang out today, baby, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have another question from one of our super fans, Vicky. If you could go back in time, what piece of advice would you give yourself before you went on to the show?
If I could go back in time, what piece of advice would I give myself before I went onto the show? Everybody always says have a good time. I don't think that I really did well there. I was so wrapped up in doing a good job that like this, we're having fun. And I didn't have very much fun. And that's part of the beauty that I've always had as a drag performer and a person who's worked in nightlife. I used to always say to my good friend Mitch Farino, who used to manage me and we used to do parties together in New York City, that we literally get paid to make sure people have a good time. Like, this should be fun for you. This shouldn't be stressful. Your job is making sure people have fun, And I lost a lot of my fun when I was there before. And I think that if ever I did an All-Stars or got to go back to do anything other reality show competition based, I would remind myself that the best part of my drag is when it's fun and to enjoy it. I have a great life because of Drag Race, because of some of the elevation it gave to my career. But the process of getting it, I didn't enjoy. And there were so many places that I could have and enjoyed it. And I wish I'd have done that a little more.
Aw. Well, and I mean, like you just said, like Drag Race is just a drop in the bucket for you. You like when I saw that you were, what was it? The national tour of Hairspray. Like, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
I love
Thanks.
hearing the fun stuff like that. Like, what's the non-Drag Race story? What is
Well,
the one
it's-
thing? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Well, I moved to New York City at 17 to go to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. So I went to school for musical theater, and then shortly after, I was doing regional productions, and then and within a year, I was on the Hairspray tour. And it's funny because I was always writing music, so music has always been like what I wanted to do. And so I discovered acting and musical theater and thought that was a good way to wrap up a lot of my talents into one place. And I had a great time doing that before drag. But when I was on the Hairspray tour, I was in Connecticut one day, and Mark Shaman, who wrote Hairspray, wrote the music for South Park, wrote like everything, he came to see the show. And he took us all out for dinner and drinks afterwards, and I got shit-faced wasted. And I was like, listen, I like your music, but I want to sing my own. And he's like, then go sing your own music. Like, just why are you here then? And I took his advice, and I quit. I quit the tour, and I went back to New York City with no plan and very little money, even though I was on tour. But I had fierce fashion because I spent all my money on clothes. And I was just getting my life in a bar in New York City, and Peppermint walked up to me, and she was like, would you like to dance backup for me at Lincoln Center, where I'm doing a show? Because she's fucking Peppermint. She's always been everything. And I had never done drag or really explored the idea of doing it. And then I toured with Peppermint for 4 years all over the world. London, Dublin, Sydney, all over the States, Australia. And it introduced me into this wonderful world of artistry. When we were going to London, I didn't have enough coins to do my favorite thing, which is shop. And so I said to Sahara and Deja Davenport that I would really like to put on a drag show of my own to make some extra coins to go shopping. And it stuck. It stuck. And with the beautiful thing about it is from touring with Peppermint, who's also a drag queen, who's a recording artist, it made me realize that there was a place for my like queer little gay voice and the things that I wanted to sing about, and that there was a community willing to listen to them, and that costume was just like Lady Gaga's for me. Like my drag is just like her putting her banged wig, like that she started out with. You know, it's just it's really a stage personified version of my musical voice. So everything leading up to me doing drag was in some way connected to my music, and everything since has really, that's the best part, that has always had my music at the forefront.
That's amazing.
That's
I love
awesome.
that. Well, we are going to take a quick little commercial break for about 2 minutes. So everybody out there, stick around. When we get back, Scarlett's going to chat with you for a couple minutes and give you a little bit of her segment. You look surprised when I said that.
Oh, shit, that's right. I have my segment. It's cool.
You dumbass.
We'll take her now.
Kids, hang out. We'll be back in just a few. Make sure you get your questions ready.
WLFEDB.com, where you can find vodcast shows, podcasts, and more like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Paratalk Radio, Just Cindy, and more. So go check out WLFE-DB.com, where talk radio is a whole lot better. Our shows are your shows, and that there makes for a great talk radio.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Brie, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Ted Van Son Jr. is a seasoned investigator and well-versed in the ways of paranormal investigation. He is now ready to share his ideas and unique approach with all of you. Flashlight, recorder, and comfortable shoes. Hit the ground running as you follow this easy step-by-step guide to a fun and thorough paranormal investigation, perfect for first-time and lightly seasoned investigators. Think outside the paranormal box. Learn all about the technology and techniques used back in the early days of paranormal investigation. You can find these valuable resources online at Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Amazon. Get yours today.
Hi, I'm Jenna Grover. In the world of fashion, we get lost in the cost. Everyone wants that special piece of quality jewelry, but they can't afford it. Not on my watch. I sell handmade quality jewelry for a fraction of the price, and that includes jewelry made of sea glass, natural stone, crystal beads, glass beads, Bigfoot jewelry, and more. If you don't see what you want, email me, because I make custom jewelry too. Check out my website at gbythesea.com. Also, you can email me at jewelry@gbythesea.com.
You're listening to WLFEDB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey! Well, okay, so full disclosure, going back to work, I went back to work this week as well. I had some time off because of the holidays, and for those of you who don't know, I work in healthcare, and I take care of an autistic kid, so long story short, he, spent time with his family over the holidays, which, understandable. Didn't go anywhere or do anything, stayed at home. But I was off work, and then I went back to work this week, and with the whole losing Roku TV and the other podcasts I have and everything, I was like, oh shit. Full disclosures, I'm very sorry. And, as Jade, talking to you, trying to make sure everything was squared away for tonight's episode. It's been a hectic week, and it's only Wednesday.
Full disclosure for everybody out there, this girl put this episode together. I have kind of been in the dark all week. I've been super excited, but I've kind of been flying blind, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But she has been working super hard. So to cover Scarlett's segment, get the Morphe palette.
Yes.
It's good.
Wear a color on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, basic bitches in your smoky eyes every week. Put some color on your face. Great, I'm going to get backlash. I'm canceled now. I got to go.
Canceled. Done. Thank you for your time. That was the last we saw of Scarlet Overkill. Alrighty, kids, let's bring everybody back. Let's keep this fun rolling right along. Let's bring back Sam and Honey.
Hey.
So I have another question for Honey. I wasn't ready to ask it either. So who would you call your ride or die? Who's that person that you just love?
Well, she's actually from Philly. She's a queen from Philly. My best friend in the world is Sophia Cristal. She's my ride or die. We've been besties for about 6 years, but when I tell you from the moment that I met her, I just lived for her drag. As y'all know, I follow drag queens because I love drag. I'm scrolling and looking at drag all day, every day. When I'm pooping, when I'm in the shower, sometimes I'm like. Anyway, I don't poop in my shower, just to clarify. But she's more than just a best friend. she is occasionally like the light in the end of the tunnel when all of my craziness and anxiety goes off and goes through my head. Really, it's beyond. She's like more than any partner that I've honestly ever, any person that I've ever experienced. Our connection is just really, really strong. So Saphira
And her
Casal is
drag
my
is
ride or die.
amazing.
But when it comes to Ru Girls, her drag is incredible. When it comes to Ru Girls, though, I have a few, and they're all from my season. I am really close with Raja O'Hara, especially from like from the beginning of filming throughout. Like she's one of my. That's my Judy. Silky and I, there's typically not like a week that goes by that like I'm busting it up with Silky on FaceTime. We like totally get each other together and help and support each other. And my like Ru Girl ride or die is Sugar Cane. Sugar Cane, like with the day that I like stood up against being unfairly treated at a job because of racism. Sugar Cane was there holding my hand. If you zoom in on the reunion, she was holding my hand the whole time because I was going through my emotions then too. And even when we were filming the show afterwards, and like we when Sugar Cane is in town, I will like drop everything and go assist her on her project. She means so much to me. So she's really my heart. Yeah.
She was amazing. I knew I would adore her when that very first episode when she walked in, she was like, "Hi, I'm Sugar Cane, 24 years old." Do I really have to say I'm 40? I do the same thing. I was like, do I have to say I'm 40 if I get on the show? Shit. Oh, well.
Whatever.
Sam, do you have any
funny,
more fun
when I
questions?
submitted my tape for season...
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, does Sam have any more questions?
What were we talking about earlier? We were talking about something earlier that was funny.
Wait,
What was it?
Right?
Oh, wait, I couldn't hear Sam. What happened with my sound?
Oh, that's weird.
Try to say something.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, that's so weird. I can't hear Sam. I can hear both of you and not Sam.
That's really weird. That's a weird quirk with StreamYard. Quickly log out and log right back in.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back.
All right. Cool. What were we talking about? It was funny as hell.
We were talking about why I would never want a straight son, and then we were talking.
we were talking about like having queer kids.
Yeah, we were. That was a cute combo. And then we were also talking about sugar daddies.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about sugar daddies before the show started.
Yeah, and the art of getting sugar daddies. I think it was actually Honey that had the question. She was like, "How do we?"
She's back in the house.
Yes.
Oh wait, can I hear y'all?
Speaking of sugar daddies,
Maybe it's my headphones.
Oh, it might be.
Oh, I think my headphones died.
Oh no.
Oh, that's what it is. Wait,
Technology.
I might have to log out and log in one more time without headphones.
No problem.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. Yeah, many years ago when I was much younger, I accidentally ended up with a sugar daddy.
How'd that happen?
He was being very nice to me, and one day he was like, "Are you a gold or a silver person?" I was like, "Well, that's a dumb question. I'm 21. What do you want?" Ended up with a beautiful sterling silver necklace, and I was like,
"All right, now talk."
Hey.
Hey.
No, why can't I hear?
Oh,
wait, let me try and see if I disconnect them. Will that work? Maybe the Bluetooth is still on, and I said unconnect, disconnect. Bluetooth.
Welcome to Inside the Technology.
Oh my gosh, Jade, we haven't having.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Ooh, now she logged herself out. Damn. We'll get this.
We've been having the
will get this.
We've been having the craziest thing, speaking of StreamYard and like issues on our Across the Pond. What happens is like we'll be, backstage all kikiing and stuff before the episode starts, and everyone's fine. We can hear each other and stuff, see each other. We'll start the episode, and then
what's wrong with the sound? Something is really weird. I
odd.
can't hear anybody.
Whoa.
Let me try.
Like nothing.
You hear us? No?
Fuck.
That's so weird. Mic settings? Nope. I can't do anything from here.
iPhone.
We will get this to work, kids. I promise.
I can't hear you, so write in the group chat what I should do because I have no.
It's so weird.
Well, she logged out. I don't know if she'll be able to see it if she's logged out. We will get this to work. You two talk for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, we can do that. Hey, girl, how you doing?
Hey.
Oh my God, it's so crazy that like technically, if you think about it, this is the first time we're seeing each other since high school, which is like 84 years ago.
I know because when you came on my podcast, you couldn't see us.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We're still working that out. We're still working on that.
Technology, I'm telling you, during these times is like been the worst. Like I was saying earlier, like, working, taking care of an autistic kid and stuff at home, like they're doing online schooling. Let me tell you, online schooling for kids with disabilities is shit. It does not work. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, cause Sam, you've worked with autistic people, like they need it. They need that interaction, that actual in-body interaction. They have routines they stick to and schedules they do and things they like. And it's like, okay, now just sit in front of this computer and watch someone talk. Like, no.
I cannot imagine.
It's so hard. And then we've been doing, like, he uses, I guess, it's new to me. I've never used it before. I guess it's new to a lot of people, but been using Microsoft Teams, and it sucks.
Oh, I hate Teams.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
Literally, my thing that I do is just, I always act stupid. Like, I don't know how to use it, even though I do. And then people just stop trying.
Yeah.
It worked well for me. Yeah.
Literally, so many glitches. It's the worst. I hate it. I mean, I get it. We have to do everything virtually now because of what's going on in the world, but it's just, like, make things better for us.
Yeah. I could not imagine having a child right now and like having to do the whole virtual learning thing. Like if I did have a child right now, my child would have to be like held back because that would be the worst fucking teacher ever. And my child would just be so far behind because I'd be like, I fucked this. I didn't sign up for this.
Right?
I don't want to teach you.
It's really hard. Like I said to you earlier, like, like especially when it's a kid with special needs, like them having that routine and like, the kid that I take care of is used to going to school, and at his school they like ride bicycles and go swimming and do things like that. And I was like stuck in his house. And I'm like, I don't know how to entertain you. Like I'm not that entertaining. So I don't know what to do. Like I can't like take you for a bike ride or like, you know what I mean? So it's just this whole new world that we're in. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Everything's online. Everything.
Yep. Well, and honey, you were saying before the show started that you're bi-coastal. Like, that's got to be insane.
It's ridiculously hard right now. Like, not really possible to be bi-coastal. So I love my home here in LA, and I'm really when I got this, I was really, really happy, and just this is the life that I've always wanted. But I always saw it with me, like spending more of the winter months here where it's warm and weed is legal, and then and then summers on Fire Island, and then that got shut down this year, this time around. And I'm hoping for some normalcy in my 2021. I mean, I expect it to be on the West Coast for the winters, but I do really miss. I did really, really miss having my time in New York this year.
Yeah. My husband and I, we went on one road trip this year. We went to Wildwood, New Jersey. And
I love Wildwood.
I do too, but I was miserable the whole trip. Like being on the boardwalk, people not distancing, not wearing their masks. I ended up going to a funeral during the trip. It was not. We've decided once we can all travel again, we like to do what we call the adventure vacation, where we get in the car and we go somewhere. We don't know where. We don't plan it. We just drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Sam, what is one thing you want to do once all of this quarantining is done?
So a few years ago, I was fortunate enough to get to go to Amsterdam. And so one of my best friends in the world, we met through modeling. She actually lives over in the Netherlands. And so I went to visit her. And we went to this festival. You guys might have heard about it. If you haven't, you have to go. Like, you have to put it at the top of your list of things you need to do. It is called Milkshake. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
Let's all get tickets after we wrap this up so we can go together, because it's the most amazing I've ever been to. It is a festival in Amsterdam. I don't know if it's like a music festival, but its slogan is like "Love is Love." So it's just a celebration of, unity and non-judgment. And if you've never been to the Netherlands, you definitely have to go, because they're amazing. They don't give a fuck about anything. They're like, oh, you like dudes? Who gives a fuck? Oh, you want to do heroin? Like, cool, do it over there. Like, they just don't care. They're like, if you're not hurting anyone, then do whatever you want. So we all have to go. It's the most amazing. The one that I went to 2 years ago, Bianca Del Rio, is actually there. Yeah, and then it rained, but I was like too high on drugs to care at the time, so I was just like out the rain.
Rain on me, rain.
Yeah, drugs are legal there too, so no one can throw shade at me. So whatever. That's what I want to do. So that's every July, and I'm really hoping that they have it this year, and then I can go.
Oh my God! Yes,
that sounds wild.
As soon as you walk in, there's a mechanical penis that you ride.
What? What?
I saw so many dicks. So many dicks.
Oh my God. I want to go to. Okay, I have a question for you, honey. Have you ever done. So, speaking of traveling, I have two friends that live in the UK, and I want to go so bad and visit them. One's in Manchester and one's in London. And they were telling me about how, like, they love drag queens in the UK and drag shows and like all kinds of stuff. So, they were telling me about this thing, and I've seen it before on like Ru Girls like Instagrams and stuff. This like porn idol they have. Have you ever done that over there in the UK?
So the gag is that I have been to the UK before Drag Race, twice, 3 times actually. Once as a backup dancer for Peppermint, and twice as a solo artist. But since RuPaul's Drag Race, I was the only person from my season who wasn't invited to do the porn idol thing.
What? It sounds insane. So Sam and Jade, basically what Brett and Morgan told me was they have a drag show, and after the drag show they have the drag queens and they have a Ru girl there, and then afterwards they do basically a strip tease like contest, like, and they take random people from the crowd and they strip down to like they're naked, and they like judge them. They have like scorecards that they hold up for these people, like how they stripped and how their bodies look and stuff like that. And I'm like, what?
I'm in love with this idea.
Like literally, I'm like, what?
Yeah, call me. It's by GAY. They do it normally. Now I will say that right in the beginning of the pandemic, I got hit up to do a UK tour, and I was like, yes, I'm on board. And then the pandemic. And they're like, don't worry, maybe in the summer. And I was like, oh, okay. And so recently they've been like, we promise as soon as it's over, you're coming back to the UK. So like, I'm hoping that I would have been there technically when season 12 was airing, because I did not go at all when season 11 was on. And that this just means that as soon as things open up, I get my chance to go back over to the UK. Because I love me some British boys. Yeah.
Ooh, yes, girl. That accent gets me every time. Ooh.
Oh, that accent. It's like Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa. It just chills through my body.
I love a good old-fashioned Oxford comma. So we have a couple questions coming in. I want to get to all of them. Luckily, now that we're not on Roku, we can actually go over our time. So we are going to get to everybody's questions.
Ow.
Now, the first question I see here, this is from Jamie Angel, who is an amazing newer non-binary performer. Honey Davenport, what are your top 3 relaxation and focusing techniques when working on drag on a time crunch?
Ooh, see,
That's a good one.
That's a really, really good one because every time you're working on drag, you're on a time crunch. It's so funny. Like a drag show, no matter what capacity you're doing it at. I've done off-Broadway shows. I've done, and drag, and I've done big tours, and I've done, no matter what capacity you're doing it at, a drag show comes together at the last minute. Like that's just how it always works every single time. Mm-hmm. So you're always rushing towards that mark. The things that I do to make sure that I relax are I really make sure that I take time for my mental space to like breathe and be and think before and after every major project. Like before, because it helps me calm my anxiety, focus, center myself. And then after, because I've probably poured my entire being into creating whatever thing that I was making. And now I want the world to shut the fuck off. Yeah. So that's my most powerful one. I also am a big fan of meditation. I meditate every day along with my wake and bake. Normally, right after. I'm like, I'm so stoned, I can't move. Good. Turn on a meditation app.
I want to smoke with you.
I want you to smoke with me. The third thing that I do that I strongly encourage for every human being who's ever experienced any kind of hardship, which is all of us, is to get a fucking therapist. I think that we ignore mental health in this country, so it's insane. And I made a rule this year that I don't even have friends who don't have therapists, because you're going to put your problems on me. I don't even want to talk to you about, no. Like, you need somebody professional to deal with the weight and pressure of what it means to especially be a drag entertainer. And if you're dealing with all of that on your own, and the only view you have of your life is through your own eyes, and you don't have any outside view, it's kind of hard to always be able to maneuver. So whenever things are on a time crunch, whenever things are like rapidly coming at me, I make sure to give myself space to breathe. I make sure to talk to somebody else about it, which is normally my therapist. And I make sure to meditate and reconnect with my breath.
I love that. Yeah. Anybody else have like a special technique just as a performer or just in life in general? No, personally, we used to talk about mental health a lot on the show. We don't so much anymore, but still very important. I haven't spoken to my therapist in a little while, but I've kind of felt like I'm in a good spot right now. So
there you go. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. It's been, well, and like, tying this into like drag, for me personally, like being able to perform multiple times a week was like my therapy. You know what I mean? Like if I was having a shitty day, or I was like in my head, or I felt down and I had a show that night, just being able to then go out and perform and hear people screaming and cheering and tipping me was like, it turned my mood completely around. So then it was like, when this pandemic started and the lockdowns and all the shows getting canceled, it was like, oh my God, like I don't have that outlet to like channel positive energy into me to like cheer me up. Like, what do I do? And like, I just lost my damn mind, like literally, like lost my mind. And then I was like, and another thing with mental health is like a lot of people don't want to get the help because it's so taboo still. And I was just like, no, like I need to talk to somebody before I like literally just go insane. Like, So, I mean, I had a therapist for a while. I haven't seen her in quite some time. Things have been between this podcast, my other one, doing some live shows here and there. Like things have started to, change a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, but enough that like, I don't feel so much like anxiety anymore.
Because really what you don't want to have happen is for you to have this big, awesome, amazing, successful project and you're all fucked up here and you can't handle it. And we've seen so many artists be raised to a big, huge, high echelon. And then you're like, the fuck are you talking about, Azalea Banks? Like, you need help. And yes, bitch, that was a dig. We've seen so many people get like so caught up in the fame and the celebrity and everybody listening to them and them getting to create whatever they want that they lose their real grasp on not just their relationship to their art, but your relationship to other people. And it's just really the most important thing. And, drag is one of the things that definitely always helped me clear my space. But what was hard for me in this pandemic when they were like, and you shouldn't be sucking nobody else's dick. And I was like, wait.
She can't have anything.
But I have to stay home and I can't get laid? Let me tell you, you get a beautiful apartment so that the boys can gag when they come over. And they're like, wow, look how pretty your apartment is. I want to be here all the time. I got a pretty apartment right in this pandemic. And it was like, oh, great. Guess it's me and my kitty cat in here.
So we have another fantastic question. I've been asked to read this question and I'm very excited about it. Sam, if you were a betting woman back in 9th grade art, who would you have put your money on being a card-carrying homo? Me or Jeff? Bonus points if your gaydar was strong enough back in the day and you would have doubled down on both of us.
We've had this conversation, Sam. It's so weird.
We have had this conversation. I don't think he's watching this, so I think we're cool. But I don't know. Definitely you, Matt. Definitely you.
Matt, I think you're the good one because you asked that.
In the best way possible. I was also telling Scarlett too. You'll have to message me. But there was someone in particular in our grade that it now is fabulous and like doing amazing things. And when I was younger, I asked him if he was gay, and he was. He got so mad at me. He told the principal on me, and I had to go to the damn principal's office. And then I got detention. But I was right. That was like 6th grade.
I remember back in high school, I had a very rough time because I was an effeminate guy in high school in the 90s. And I started getting death threats from other kids in school. And it got so bad that my grandmother went into school and was basically like, what are you going to do about this? And they were like, well, your grandson's the problem.
What?
That was not the right thing to say to my grandmother. She was pissed. She let them have it. I mean, nothing was actually done about the situation, but don't mess with my grandmother.
Yeah, and sometimes that just goes to prove when you get pissed, there's progression. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Yeah.
These questions are amazing. You kids are coming up with amazing questions tonight. I want to get to this one. Again, from the fantastic Jamie Angel, their question is, Scarlett, what drag entertainment techniques have you used to help children with special needs connect with information in a fun and positive way? That's a good one.
That is a good question.
Oh, girl, that's a tough one. I don't really...
Because you keep your work life and your drag life very separate.
Well, okay, so it's very weird. So I prefer, it works better with my drag schedule. When it comes to healthcare, I prefer to do like in-home stuff. So like where, a family's like, hey, I need a caregiver to help with this or that or whatever. And then they like contact me and I kind of go in to their home. So like, but at the same time, it's like I can make my own schedule, pick my own hours. So it really works well with my drag schedule since that is my full-time job. But when you're going into a family's home, even though it's for a job, it's for work, it's like it's their home, just respect them. So like I try not to bring up a lot of my personal life and how I feel and how I think and whatnot, because at the end of the day, I'm there just to like do a job, and it's their home. So I kind of don't say a lot of stuff. So like for the longest time, a lot of like the last he was an elderly gentleman I was working for. Like his family and his life and everything was very religious and like going to church, and he voted for Trump. So like I was very like, they didn't even know I was gay because I was just like, I'm just gonna, you know, whatever. I'm just
Were they all blind?
What?
Were they all blind?
Basically. But I was very like, you know, just quiet about myself and whatnot, because I was like, at the end of the day, this is just my job. I'm just here to do it, you know, whatever. And then I just, you know, luckily I was able to like transition to a new home, but I was just like, now I'm at the point where, you know what, I'm like in my 30s and drag is my full-time job, and this is who I am. And yes, I am more effeminate than masculine, you know, in and out of drag. So like, if someone doesn't like that, fuck them. Just fuck them all. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the job I'm at now is like, I have a husband. Hey, I have a husband. I'm gay and I do drag. So if you don't like it, I'll go work in another home. And it's the weirdest thing ever. This kid's mom is like, oh my God, I've watched Drag Race before. That's so awesome. Like, so luckily I was like, okay, perfect. I fit in this home. This works. But, you know, going back to the question, it's like, I don't really know what like skills like from my drag life I kind of put into my work life, because it's so different. And like for me, you know, without not giving too much information, like the kid I take care of, the struggle with me is that he's nonverbal, so he doesn't talk. So we do a lot of signing and stuff. So like for me, like that's kind of hard to like, I guess, you know, entertain and or him in a certain way, because most of our interaction is like doing signing and stuff since he doesn't speak. So yeah.
That's wild. I didn't know you signed.
Well, I only do the signs that he knows.
Okay.
So, like when I started working with him, I got kind of a crash course from his parents, and then I learned, you know, during the online schooling with this pandemic, from the teachers. So like I know enough to, you know, do you want to eat? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Like just things like I know enough signs to like work with him. I don't fully know full on ASL, but enough to like communicate with him while I'm there.
That's cool.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
So we have another question. This seems to be the $1 million question that everybody wants to ask someone who's been on Drag Race.
Okay.
So, from Eric, what was it like meeting RuPaul?
Ooh.
Okay. So, I met RuPaul once before Drag Race. It's actually how I got the name, Honey. I was at a book signing, and I had a dance group that we weren't doing drag necessarily. Like we were like androgynous, like wore heels and things like that. And we were called the Hunties. And I met RuPaul at a book signing and out of drag. And he signed my book to, I asked him to sign it to the Hunties, and he signed it to Honey, which is actually how I got the name Honey. So that was the first time. But the second time, which was the most magical one, y'all, RuPaul is as famous as she is because she is honestly like otherworldly to see. Like it's insane. So episode 1, it's the first time I ever saw her in drag. And I came around the corner to the runway, and I had that huge flower in my hair. And you totally can't see this on the episode because we do the runway, you know, a couple of times. But I like turned the corner, and this huge flower, and it like was like a reveal for her, not me, because I fully gagged that. Like I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. That's why you are who you are, because that's what that looks like. Got it? Okay, that's must be magic. Like you somebody must have cast a spell over there. Like this does not even look real. Her drag is insanely flawless. Just to see in person.
That's amazing. I love hearing stories like that. Like like I said, I went to DragCon this past year. I had never gone before. And like I saw Ru like maybe 100 feet away. DJ.
Out of drag though, right? She was
Out of
like,
drag.
I get it. I'm not getting in drag for this thing that has my name on it.
But at the same time, you know, that's the one thing I do like about RuPaul now. Like, RuPaul does not have to be in drag to be that icon.
Yeah.
And he's made himself recognizable out of drag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, who am I to talk sitting here with a beard? am I RuPaul lookalike hoodie?
Shady. I love it. We have a silly question. Once again, from Jamie Angel. If doing adventure vacation, conversion van or RV would be the dream to fulfill that. Which one would you prefer? A conversion van or an RV?
RV.
RV?
What's a conversion van?
Isn't it? It's almost like a mini RV.
Huh.
Let me make sure that's right.
Yeah, I chose RV because I don't know what that is either.
She's like RV because I don't know what a conversion van is. A conversion van just sounds like a van that's like driving through WeHo trying to convert people.
Oh. No, it's literally like a van-sized apartment.
What? They have those?
Yeah. I just Googled it, and I was like, those are tiny. I couldn't, no. I need space.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't need space. I like living in smaller places. Like, that's what I prefer luxury to space. Like, I like my space to be ridiculously clean, and the bigger your house is, the more cleaning it takes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say I would travel in the one that like me and my 2 to 3 fuck buddies could get into and I could keep clean. So probably the RV.
And your sugar daddy can drive.
And my sugar daddy can drive.
Yeah.
We were literally, like, to get back onto the topic we were talking about before, we were talking about sugar daddies.
We were.
Let's get back to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Same
I
with-
need advice on this. Honestly, we kind of cut it short, but Sam, I need advice on this because here's the thing. A hot guy asked me to be my sugar daddy. Right? That never happens. But how do you respond to somebody asking to be your sugar daddy? Like when Shanda was like, "You can't have a sugar daddy because you're not sickening." I was like, "Well, I am sickening, and I don't know how to get a sugar daddy because every time they offer, I'm like, well, what do I say back?"
You say you need a trial run.
Ooh, okay.
I just made that up. I was too drunk in my younger years when I had sugar daddies to remember what actually happened. I don't know, like when you have tits, you just like pull them out and stuff happens. Like I don't know, I just can't control that. It just like, oh, I'm fat. Here's my tits, and now I have it. I don't know. Maybe you guys could. Yeah, you guys could.
Sponsor my show. We're looking for sponsors.
We need money.
No, this is what my 32-year-old self is. This is what my 32-year-old self would do. I would request a trial run.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, all right, show me what you got. Let's see how this is going to go. And then you have your trial run. And if it's good, then it's official and it just keeps happening. And if not, then no harm, no foul. You probably still got at least a really nice pair of shoes.
There you go.
That's fair. Daniel Jackson added on to that trial run and a test deposit of $10K.
Yeah.
I like this.
Damn it, Daniel. That's so good.
Yeah.
Sounds like someone's done this before.
Mm-hmm.
We got another question from Teddy. What was the toughest part of Drag Race?
The toughest part of Drag Race for me is that I'm an extreme extrovert. Like, extreme extrovert. Like, I need to be around people especially before this quarantine, I need to be around people on the regular basis. And when you're not filming, you're secluded and by yourself. So I think that was part of what took a toll on me. But the thing is that at least we've had this time now where I've gotten used to being in a room by myself. But I had never experienced it. I was raised in a house with 5 beautiful women, and I went to school and had, you know, roommates and everything my whole life. I've never had to like spend, you know, full nights alone. Not that they give you a full night's sleep, but like I even have a partner. Like, so I never really had to like sit with my thoughts for very long periods of time. And so like things like a weekend between episodes or stuff like that, you're still secluded, and I was just in a hotel room. And for me, at that point in life, it legitimately felt like prison. And that was just because I wasn't comfortable sitting with myself in that way. It was the toughest part, but it honestly is the one that like I've always been like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. But then after this fucking 2020 shit, I'm like, well, now I'm used to it. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. Like, I've been watching, I've been falling into the YouTube black hole a lot lately. And the other night it was all like behind the scenes of RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff they didn't show before. And I was like, ooh, like Tempest du Jour having a metal detector up against her to see if she brought anything in. And I was like,
wow, that exists.
Apparently, to make sure she didn't have a phone on her.
Oh.
I was like, that's exciting.
Wow. I'm just trying to figure out where she put it. Where were they?
Right.
Where's this metal detector going? Because I might have a phone on me next time just to get
right. Because that's fine. Go on and get it.
Go on and get it. Some of those men on set were fine as hell. I remember during my season, the medic, the guy who was there in case anybody got harmed was so fucking hot that they were like, we were like, oh my gosh, ouch, I think I'm hurt, I need a medic. And they were like, you guys have to stop doing that. This is really serious. I know you want this pretty guy to come touch you because you haven't been touched, but you have to stop doing that.
That would be my struggle. I'd be like going that long without a physical contact. I'd be like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Help me, daddy.
And it's not like you have your phone or your laptop. You don't have a way to get to porn even. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I have to jerk off to my thoughts? This is weird. Who does that?
I don't have anything good ready.
I'm like, let me close my eyes and imagine. Like, it was so hard.
Another human in the room. Yes. Got another question. This is from my husband. Honey, not including the current COVID situation, do you think that the current accessibility and mainstream popularity of drag makes it easier or harder to be a successful drag performer who stands out because there are so many more fish in the pond?
Do I think it makes it harder to stand out? I don't think it makes it harder to stand out. I am not doing anything different than I did before RuPaul's Drag Race. I was already a New York City legend. I already had music. I already had parties that have been going on for years. I was already touring. I was already successful. There's many roads to success, and the commercial success of RuPaul's Drag Race is just one of them. There are awesome queens all over the world who have found great success and had full lives, never having that experience or that exposure. Is just as possible. And in fact, I always encourage girls, even when they're applying, to just look at it as a possibility, an option. But at the end of the day, it's only there to highlight what you already had in the works, like what you already had going on. So I don't think that it's harder at all. In fact, I think that drag being in the mainstream creates more drag for drag that's not mainstream. So when, people are sitting around seeing how everybody reacts to RuPaul's Drag Race, and you own a company and you have to do a commercial for that company, then you go, oh, maybe I should have a drag queen in this. And that's another job for drag that's created. And there's so many different ways that Drag Race pushing drag to this higher echelon has really helped drag infiltrate other areas of the entertainment industry. So I think that it's not harder. It's just really more important that you have a clear goal in mind. And because once you've got on Drag Race, the thing that is easier is that they're like, so what do you want to do with your life? Which is not a question that any drag queen who's not been on Drag Race has ever asked. So you have to ask yourself that question. You have to build the things that the foundation for what you want. And then if something like that came along, cool. But, you know, Sherry Vine and Jackie Beat and Heclina and Hedda Lettas and Shaquita and even Peppermint before Drag Race, they didn't have Drag Race to propel them. But as I said before, I was on tour with Peppermint and we played London and Dublin and Australia and, you know, and everywhere in the world. All of these things are still possible no matter what. It's about what you want, you know. And I always tell people at the end of the day, you don't need RuPaul to tell you you're America's Next Drag Superstar. You just need to be it.
Yes.
I love
she
that.
never got that shit right. No way. Look at me.
That's amazing. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't think of, you know, that's just a stepping stone to something else. Mm-hmm. Like you always have to think, okay, I'm doing this thing. What's going to be the thing that comes after that?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people think like, oh, I got on Drag Race. I made it to the end of my dreams and goals. No. Like, that's just like another step, like Jay just said, another step. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a month of TV.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got another question. This is going to be a little controversial. I like this question.
Okay.
And we're all going to answer this one. From Colton, top pick for season 13.
Oof, that's a hard one.
They're one episode in, so this is going to be tough.
See, the thing about it, when they're one episode in, then you're just picking from the people who you like their social media presence and you like the other things that they've created. Which brings me back to my point of the last question. It's about what you did beforehand.
Yep. So who do we think is going to represent best?
I think that Tina Burner is America's Next Drag Superstar, whether she's crowned it or not. In one episode, she captured like all of America in a hideous Ronald McDonald outfit, which I love her so much. She's my good sister, so I can throw shade. I actually only throw shade at people I love. So I think that she's one of those people too, that she's like a fucking brand. And the world better get ready for how Tina Burner is about to destroy all of us, because she's a monster. And so she's my top pick. Like, I'm like really, really, really hoping for her. But I will say this, and I just have to say this as an aside. Every moment I see Candy Muse on the TV, I am like, yes! I love her so much on TV.
How about you, Sam? Who's your top pick?
My top pick this season is, I really love Gottmik.
Yes.
I love Gottmik. I think that, now help me out, guys, because I'm not afraid to admit when I don't know something. So her proper pronoun would be he.
I think with the drag world, it's very tricky, especially when there's a trans person doing it. But I do believe they use non-binary pronouns, they, them.
Okay. So they. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I like to default to the non-binary.
Yeah, and I always like to ask, because I feel like that's a big thing, is like people who don't understand or are still learning, you know, the proper pronouns for people. They're afraid to ask. And I'm not afraid to ask. I'm like, what would you like to be called? You know?
At least you ask, though. Like, I'd rather someone ask me my pronouns than just assume them. You know?
I asked you. I was like, Scarlett, I was like, what would you like? You can just call me bitch. I'll answer.
Right? My pronouns are your highness, your majesty.
Yeah.
You can call me queen, I'll answer.
Yeah, me too.
So you're feeling Got Mick?
I'm so feeling them.
Nice.
I'm here with you on that. Yeah.
Team
How about
Gottmik. Such a good personality. Like I'm the type of person who always goes for like a good fishy queen. Just because like I feel like that's who I would be if I were a drag queen. I'd be like a good old fish queen. So I always am like drawn to like fishy pretty girls like Honey, because she's fish as fuck. But yeah, Gottmik is just like so talented. Like you can't deny. But I'm like everyone I always fall in love with first like cannot dance. Last season it was Gigi.
Oh.
Interesting.
Who was it on season 11?
Season 11? I feel like everyone could kind of dance on season 11.
That was
have you seen Nina West try to dance? No tea, no shade.
True.
She can do everything in the world, but like
her personality just like overrides it, so it's like not even memorable.
It does, but like, I think that she could probably learn some choreography.
She could do a bop. I don't know.
But I think if you were like, Nina, I'm just dropping Megan Thee Stallion right now and go, I would really love to see what
I want to see that.
I do too.
I need that in my life.
Yes.
How about you, Scarlett?
Well, as most of you know, and if you don't, my two favorite things about drag, because I incorporate it into myself, is like being the most bright and colorful thing in the room. And then also like just the obnoxious, campy factor of it all. So like for me, I love Gottmik because like her makeup and her style is just that. Like when she walked in with the outfit, the way her makeup was done, I was like, yes, ma'am, you're doing it. But then if I had to pick, I agree with Honey, Tina, because she's giving me Nina West, Bianca Del Rio, like just that campy comedy, like, and I'm automatically like, you said, Sam, you're drawn to like the fishy queens of Drag Race. I'm drawn to like the obnoxious, campy comedy queens because that's kind of how I would be. Like, I'd rather be out on stage shoving a dildo down my throat than like doing a ballad. Like, because I just prefer that type of drag. So like, I definitely am a fan of Tina Burner as of now. Like, that's who I would pick.
Same.
Are we three Tinas?
Yes.
Like Tina and Got Me and Candy Mew. Like it's so early.
Dynamic cast. Also, Simone, I could see her easily being America's Next Drag Superstar. She's phenomenal. Olivia Lux, even though she's younger and a newer queen, she's actually the current reigning Miss Paradise. And when I was on Drag Race, I was the current reigning Miss Paradise. She even got to mention it on the show. They didn't air that part when I said it, I guess. But yeah, so it's a really dynamic cast. Really dynamic cast. I mean, it ain't no season 11, but it's a really dynamic.
How gagged would you have been if you walked in and they were like, come to the main stage?
I'd have been ready.
Yeah?
I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. I would have really loved the opportunity to lip sync against one person. I mean, right now you have the trio that was in the Tina Burner and the other two girls. I'm not sure which two girls she beat. But anyway.
I just had it up too.
Kimora and Elliot.
And Elliot. But with an exception of queens who didn't have to lip sync on their season, I'm the only drag queen in Drag Race history who didn't get the opportunity to just lip sync against one person. And like it was I don't really feel like I got my chance to show the performance aspect of my craft. So like, I think that honestly, I would have liked that better than being on that tiny little fucking stage with 6 girls dropping their costumes everywhere. That's why I jumped off. Like,
Smart.
you know, like, yeah, I was like, get out of here. You can't even be seen in this, you know? So I would have reacted, I think, in a positive way, because performance is the thing that I really thought that would, if in danger, get me through. But when not given the opportunity to really actually lip sync and fight for my life there, then it you know, yeah.
Sounds to me like we need Honey Davenport on All Stars.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Just
Only if
saying.
they're bringing me
My
back
God.
to win this time, because I'm ready for that shit.
It's been so beautiful. Like, that's the one thing I do like about All Stars. You get to see people who didn't go as far as you hoped, but now they've fully embraced their drag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at Trixie Mattel.
Yeah.
Like, when she left Drag Race in season 7, I was like, I still didn't understand, but now I totally get her aesthetic, and she's found her aesthetic.
Right, right. You know, if I were to ever go back, the thing that would be different for me is not that I found my aesthetic. Like, I was already a developed character. I was already a brand, which is why I've done so well since the show. But I found a belief in what I do that I didn't have before, and a confidence in what I do that I didn't have before. Like, I already had the things that RuPaul saw in me to bring me there, but I wasn't as confident and secure in them as I am at this point in my life. And I think being thrown out in the real world after Drag Race and being like, girl, you went home early. How are you going to still have a life that's just as legendary? It proved to me that I've, you know, all along, all of the things it took to make it. But I didn't really have a real big belief in that when I went there, to be honest. You know? Yeah.
And like, looking at your pictures, like, I found one of my favorite pictures of you.
Oh, wow.
I am obsessed with this look.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love that.
It's so fun. And this dress, like, who did this dress?
So both of these are by the same designer. They're both by Abraham Levy, from New York. He's my good Judy. He's like my papa. The one that was in the orange is actually a part of Magnus Hastings' Rainbow Revolution, and the pants are by Peretta Victory, who's a phenomenal drag performer and costume designer in New York City. And what's really legendary about this look is that I have a wig on by my favorite wig designer, even though I slightly changed the shape of it, and she'll never forgive me for this picture. She actually told me once that she has nightmares about me changing it, but I love it. Her name is Perfidia from New York, and she was the genius behind the hair shop at Pat Fields. So like, legend on legend on legend touched this garment. And my finale look, which is the other one, was also look was also done by Abraham, and he and I, after I got home from filming, sat for about a month and tried to figure out what I was going to do and how we were going to work this. And that look is, the top half of it is completely hand sculpted, made from Warbler, and it has 200 Warbler bees, which are all rhinestoned in it. And what you can't see is that all the gold is rhinestone. And then it's like yards and yards and yards of vegan faux leather.
Yes.
And it just, I was like, I definitely want to be on brand. But I want this to say like legacy, you know? And he was like, okay, girl, well, you need to pay my rent this month. And I was like, got it, mother. And he really, really turned this one out for me. And also, it's another wig by the legendary Perfidia, who I'm obsessed with. And she doesn't hate how I treated this one, so even more kudos.
It's so cute. Like, it's so on brand. And like, you took the bee aspect of everything and just ran with it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's artistry to me.
But
Like,
we need to save the bees there.
What? It's just so good. Just your looks were amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bees
So
are
we have-
essential. So we need to do everything we can to save the bees.
True. Very true. So we have a couple more questions. I do like this one. From Teddy, what was Honey's biggest fear when she's finally decided to come out as a gay man and then again doing drag?
Ooh, double whammy.
You know, we all fear acceptance, and I definitely did fear that. But you know, I came out to my mom at 19, which was the hardest person to come out because my close that I love my mom. I'm such a mama's boy. Mom, if you're watching, because she watches a lot of things, I love you so much. Like, my mom is an incredible human being, and this story is just a testament to that. I came out at 19 and I said, Mom, I'm 19 years old and I'm sorry, but I've been hurting myself my whole life to not tell you that I'm gay, to spare your feelings, and I can't do that anymore. I'm gay. And she was like, baby, you've been hurting yourself for 19 years to spare my feelings. For that, I love you more. You know, like, so that was definitely one of a big fear of mine. But she, even though my mom, I feel like always wanted me as her daughter, she definitely had a adjustment to me doing drag. I was born, you know, you're from Philly. I was the beginning part of where I was born. I grew up in West Philly, but I was born in Center City, right off 13th Street in the neighborhood. And my mom associated drag with being transgendered, and she had very little idea about what it meant to be transgendered. And in that neighborhood, she associated being transgendered with being a prostitute, and because that was what her view of it was. And she had a really hard time at first wrapping her head around the fact that, you know, she was like, this is what's going on. That was hard. But once my mom saw my show, she came to New York City and like she was anxious and nervous and saw my show. And she was like, you know, kid, you are full of crazy ideas. And I think that Honey is your craziest and best one. Like, she's become a super supporter. My dad was easy on both accounts. He called me from jail one day when I was 13 years old. And he was like, I was like, what's going on? And he's like, well, I was working today and my boss came over to me and said, when's your faggot son gonna come out to you? And so my dad said, I beat the shit out of him and now I'm in jail. Yeah, that was the owner of the Marathon Grill in Philly, just so you know. Real talk.
Oh boy.
So that, I mean, it was a long time ago. I was 13 years old. So I never had a problem with that. My dad was always super supportive. And when my dad found out that I did drag, it was because he came to New York and I didn't put away my drag or try to hide it from him. So he walked into my apartment and he saw my tits just hanging up. And he was like, what's that for? And I was like, for work. What do you mean? And he's like, what do you mean work? I was like, I'm a drag queen. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I come see your show? And my dad comes to, whenever he has the opportunity to, comes to my shows. I was just in Philly in November, and my dad came to see my show at Jocks, which is a Black queer-owned establishment in Philly, and y'all should all support it.
Yes.
So yeah, my dad has always been super supportive. He's really cool. My mom is the best mom in the world, like hands down. But my dad has always been super supportive as well.
That's amazing. I love, like, that was very similar to my coming out story. Like, I came out to my mother. I was so nervous. I was like, hey, Mom, I'm sure you probably figured it out, but I have a boyfriend. She's like, do you have a job? She loves me. She loves me. How about you, Scarlett?
I think I came out to my dad first. My dad was very just like, very like chill. Like, he would always tell me about like when he was younger, like going to like Woodstock and doing LSD and shit like that. So my dad was like crazy. My dad was like insane. And so like I was like, okay, well, I should probably just tell him first. Like, I mean, I obviously came out to one of my friends, and the first one I came out to was when I was 16, actually, Sam. I was still in high school, but I came out to somebody. But it was because I knew they were gay. They knew I was gay, so we, like, kept it secret between each other. But then when I turned 18, then my dad was the first person I came out to. And he was just like, okay, and? Like, literally, he's just like, okay, cool. Like, do you. And I was like, okay. But, like, my mom was the one that was, like, harder to come out to. Like, because I knew, like, once I told her, she was going to tell my grandma, her mom. And my mom's side of the family was so religious. Like, I remember as a kid, like, you know, everyone has their beliefs, whatever, do you. I'm not religious. I don't follow that. I don't believe that. But I remember as a kid, like, going to church all the time and, like, going to Sunday school and things like that, because that's what my grandma wanted my mom to have us do. Like, so, like, my grandma was just like this, like, for lack of better words, Bible thumper that, like, pushed it on her side of the family and her children and stuff. So, like, I was like, oh my God, I have to tell them now that I'm gay. Like, and it was a roller coaster of a ride. But I got to the end of the ride. So, yeah. But my dad was like, oh my God, coming out drag. Oh my God. I remember two things. One, making a costume for a pageant I competed in. And my dad sat there and watched me make it. Like, and then after winning the pageant, the first show at said establishment where I won, he came with me because I had no one to come with me. And he came with me just to be my DD. Like, and literally, like, my dad was like, I mean, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but, like, he was, like, my number one, like, supporter, drag fan. Like, he loved coming to my shows and stuff. So, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we have time for one more question. And Daniel Jackson got the last question of the night. It's directed at Honey, but this is another one I want us all to answer. And it is, are there any queens you would love to see on Drag Race?
Ooh.
There's so many, because what I've experienced from Drag Race is that it really takes what you've already been working towards and highlights that and showcase it to the world at its best. And there's, in my travels, I've met at least one person, if not multiple, in every city who I just think, like, fuck, she really, really deserves this. Like, I just wish that would happen for her. In Philadelphia, it's Safira Cristal. And New York City, it's Pixie Aventura. In LA, it's Cardi G. There's so much brilliance out there that deserves that kind of highlight. So I'm gonna say that, of course, my number one pick, it would be my best Judy in the whole world, because I see how hard she works on a daily basis. So I have a personal connection because we talk every single day. So I really, really hope that at some point Safira Cristal gets onto Drag Race.
Nice. Before I ask the next person, just from Nicole, miss your dad so much.
That's my sister-in-law. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for watching.
The family that drags together stays together.
Yes.
How about you, Scarlett? Who do you want to see on Drag Race?
Well, Scarlet Overkill, obviously. No, I'm kidding.
You stole mine.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I'll retract that so Sam has an answer. No, I don't even know. Like, there's so, like, I would literally love to see, like, we were talking about this before the show, like, any, like, I'm not, like, gonna throw names out and talk about who's auditioned and who isn't or whatever, but, like, anyone from, like, our central Pennsylvania area. Like, so many people think of drag, when they say drag and they say Pennsylvania, they just think of Philly. And sure, those girls are great, but, like, have you been to the Harrisburg, the Central PA shows were just as great. Like, so I would just love someone from, like, our state, from our area to get on. So it's not like we're part of, like, the big city. We're representing the smaller cities, the smaller communities. But our drag is just as good. It's just not in a big city. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Sam?
Well, I was going to say Miss Scarlet Overkill.
Yeah.
I love that answer. I'm totally going to steal
Good
Alicia's answer. All of the Behind the Drag Closet ladies.
Yeah, all of us.
Yep.
Yes.
No,
I love
I wouldn't make it. There's no fucking way. I can't walk in heels. First of all. I would fall over immediately.
That's never stopped anyone.
True.
You could do it. You know, whenever girls are like, oh my gosh, you can walk in heels. And I'm like, but you can. So you can teach her. Like when the makeover challenges, when they're like, they can't walk in heels. I'm like, I've told so many people to walk in heels. It's really not that deep.
Oh my God, it hurts so bad. I don't think I'm doing it right.
Come on over. I got you, girl.
Yeah.
On the next flight, go feed and teach me how to walk in heels.
Done. You know who I would love to see on Drag Race? Creme Fatale.
Oh, yeah.
Creme Fatale is a cis woman who is a drag queen, and her drag is amazing.
Yeah.
Jamie Angel just said Baby Flamingo. They are also an amazing performer from Central PA. They're my grandchild. I love them so much. But there's so many people, like, you know, Drag Race is just going to keep getting bigger and better. And, you know, we can all thank performers like Honey Davenport, who just made that show amazing.
Yes.
Well, sadly,
I want to know, Honey, too, that like, of course, I was like Googling you earlier, like just to like look at all your pictures. There is a very commonly searched term when you start to type your name, and it is Honey Davenport beard. Everyone loves the fucking beard. It's like super common. They want to see all the pics of you with a beard, myself included.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But you're like really hot, so it's fine.
Oh,
That's my one regret in life, like, because I did meet the love of my life very young, so he got like all my best years. But my one regret in life is that I did not hook enough with enough black man. Like I would go back and like get all the black men I could. I'd be like, nope, you're white. Nope, black only. Just run through them.
Same, girl, same.
It still might happen. I don't know.
There you go.
You know, I don't predict the future, right?
Right.
Well, kids, we are reaching the end of our show, but I always love to give everybody a platform at the end to just say goodbye, some words of love. And Honey, as our special guest this evening, is there anything you would like to tell the audience before we head out?
Absolutely. In times like these, it is important to stay motivated. It is important to keep going. It is important to keep creating and producing whatever you do in life. But more important than anything, you won't even be able to handle the success of your future endeavors if you're not maintaining your mental health. So be sure to like really, really in times like this, take care of what's going in and coming out, going in here and coming out of here. That's the most important thing.
Sam, any last words for everyone?
Just keep hanging in there, y'all. We're almost through the worst of this shit show, even though it seems like a brand new one just started today. But don't forget self-care. Don't forget to moisturize. Don't forget to drink water, because did you know that 75% of Americans are dehydrated? Like, it's a fact. So drink water. Yeah, I hope this doesn't turn into The Handmaid's Tale. But take care of yourself and tune in to their next show next week for some more awesomeness. This is Raja. She is named after the drag queen Raja.
Hi,
Who
Raj.
lives 2 blocks from me.
Oh my God, I know. Another reason to come visit you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scarlett, do you have any last words?
Well, first, thank you to Honey and Sam for coming on this show. Thank you so much. You were both amazing. I had so much fun. Thank you to everyone who watched our show. Speaking of podcasts, tomorrow watch Sam's new episode of Sam We Are. She has a new episode out tomorrow, yes.
Oh, wow. I got to check it out.
And then on this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, watch my new episode of Across the Pond with my besties. And lastly, during these crazy ass times, just remember to, be positive, be kind, loving, caring, stay healthy, wash your hands, wash your ass, and, just keep it together. We're going to get through this. It seems crazy and terrible right now, but we can get through this.
Also, since you're pushing things that are coming up, I have a show coming up this Friday on my Twitch channel with my best friend, Safira Cristal. It's called Something of a Different Color. We do it each and every month to promote POC drag queens all around the country. And this week, we've got Whittle Von Du, Kevin Aviance, Frankie Doom. Like, we've got an all-star cast for January.
God.
And it's a free show on my Twitch on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. So check that out.
Yes.
Honey, when we're done, send me a poster for that, and I'll post it on the Inside the Drag Closet page.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. This has been so much fun. Like, I was joking around a little bit before we started. I was flying blind tonight because Scarlett did all of the booking for this show, and I have had so much fun sitting back and letting her do all the work. I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in every week. Keep watching. Make sure you head over to my YouTube page, youtube.com/Jade DeVere, all one word. Make sure you subscribe, because in this world of algorithms, that's how we become popular.
Bro.
So weird. Make sure you're all taking care of each other. Make sure you tune in next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to have some funny gals joining us for the show. We've got Miss Felicia O'Toole and Anita Minute, both from the Central Pennsylvania area. They're going to be joining us. We're going to be laughing our butts off. I'm going to be joined by my fabulous co-host, Amethyst Diamond. But it's the end of the night, and there's one thing left to say. Say goodnight, kids.
Good night.
Bye.